to fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You're listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Minute. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. This is entitled My Predictions. Now, my predictions are based on thoughts and considerations listening to media generally, not the Canadian media, but the media generally, and then analysing it and placing it into a Canadian environment. I have based my predictions over a 24-month period because I think this is a crucial period in Canadian history. And it's 24 months minus 3 as we're in March. Now, they are pretty radical, but I'm going to tell you, I think a lot of these are going to come true. Now, I don't know in what particular order these things are going to happen. They might not all come true, but we will see. I believe, first of all, that Trudeau will go much, much further with his, on the surface, socialist policies. And you're already seeing that, but that's just the tip of it. The continuing policies and the increasing socialist expansion that Trudeau is forcing upon unwilling Canadians will cause a semi-collapse in the value of the Canadian dollar. At some point, he, like the former Prime Minister Harper, will be forced to prorogue Parliament to stop unrest within his party. Many MPs will stand up and protest his actions. They will be ignored. That civil unrest will start to emerge in our major cities in the next 21 months. Possible rioting caused by massive increases in taxes that have already been put into place that people don't realise they're hidden will lead to a partial or total civil uprising. Canada is now, and is continuing to be, split socially and economically, and that leads to civil unrest. Demands will be heard from the most unlikely quarters for separation. A polite but firm request will be made to repeal all firearms regulations. That might sound surprising, but we'll see. Police and border authorities will be powerless as ordinary Canadians take it upon themselves to take steps to protect themselves. As a result of total disdain and apathy on the part of the federal government towards the military, they will refuse once again en masse to deploy to stop civil unrest. In other words, they will stay in their barracks because Trudeau has done them no favours. All Liberal communists hate the military. Feds will request foreign military aid, which will be blocked by the UN Security Council. To be precise, the US will do that. Trudeau will be forced to resign and call a general election. As I said earlier, the dollar will plummet and all parties will call for a national referendum on the breakup of Canada. And here's something that maybe you haven't heard of before. I believe, this is my understanding from what I can see, looking at it from outside within, that Canada will not break up into two parts. It will actually break up into three. And BC and Alberta will vote to become an American protectorate. Bringing those provinces in to the US will change the balance in the US for 50 years. Now those are some of my predictions. We'll see how radical I was or not in another 23 months. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com. I am very pleased to announce that thanks to you for following us on Spreaker.com, that A Radio can now be found on iTunes under A Radio. Thank you everyone. And I'm on Twitter at A Radio Canada. I'm also on Facebook at A Radio Canada. I am on Gab at A Radio. You can email me at aradiocanada@gmail.com. Please click the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning minutes at Spreaker.com under A Radio. That's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. And you can also find all my podcasts and morning minutes at aradio.wordpress.com. And click on the Morning Minutes tab.